Hey everyone, it's Clint, and it's also late. So I'm going to try and make this video without getting too ranty. It's not going to be a long one, but I wanted to talk about crowdfunding because crowdfunding has been so important to Comicsgate and the process of getting books published and competing with mainstream comics. There are some downsides to crowdfunding. I was on the IndieCron live stream last night. Well, it is tonight. Here's the surprise. I'm recording it the night before. And it really got me thinking about what we need to do to get campaigns successfully funded. So there are some hard truths about crowdfunding that I think everybody needs to understand before they jump in and get their campaign out there. You can't rely on Ethan to make your book successful. You can't do it. You can't rely on IndieCron to make your book successful, and you can't rely on the Comicsgate community by themselves to make your book successful. Now, all of these things are awesome and they're helpful, but what you have to do is if you're planning on doing a book, you have to bring a product that's going to sell. And if you do, I truly believe that the Comicsgate community and all of the amenities that it has, all the YouTube channels, all of the other creators, everybody is awesome with helping you get funded. But you have to bring a product that's going to sell, okay? So this is hard, and this is something that I'm working with right now. So I saw this on Twitter today. Somebody spoke to Ethan, and they said, time to update that smarky little entry on the WordPress blog, huh? And he's looking at IndieCron and all the books right now. There are no books that are just, making it up to six figures. Now, part of this is that this is a bad time of year for crowdfunding across the board. It's a bad time of year. People don't have extra money to be spending. The masses don't. I guess some people do. You can get funded. And in fact, congratulations to Crystal McGee for getting her book funded. That's awesome. Now, this is important because for Comicsgate books, what I'd love to see is for IndieCron to always look like it has fantastic books that have fantastic sales numbers. But creators putting books there have to bring the product so it's going to be sellable. Nobody else can do that for you. We can give you feedback, all that kind of stuff, but you have to do it yourself. And this is a good reminder for me. I'm not saying I'm exempt from it. So one, you have to bring an audience with you. You can't just show up and post your book and expect Comicsgate to do all the work for you. I watched an old stream. This is the one famously on Ethan's stream, but it's where I guess Mike Miller cried. Anyway, everybody was joking about it, so I wanted to watch it. But what I heard from that stream that it hadn't come for, was John Malin saying that if you're part of Comicsgate, you got to jump in, grab your oar, and paddle. Right? Everybody has to be paddling. Contributing is important, and people are contributing in different ways. Not everyone's going to have a YouTube channel for sure. But find a way that you can contribute. That's good. So one of those ways is going to be come with a mailing list. And I can tell you from my failures, I'm going to show you a Kickstarter campaign that I ran a few years ago. It was unsuccessful, and I'll run you through some of those things. But I did learn how difficult crowdfunding can be. Next, you got to seek feedback first, right? You got to make sure that your product is going to be sellable. Something that Comicsgate can sell for you that looks good. And then, ask for help, but don't get upset if somebody is not going to help you. I've heard Ethan say this before. He's only going to promote books that he believes in and that he thinks can sell. In fact, I saw just a little bit of his live stream just last night, where I think it was the Night Stalker book. They were talking about it and going over it. Gil, I think is his name. He went to Ethan before and asked for a portfolio review, and Ethan gave him some honest feedback. Now, Gil, to his credit, he went back and he revised his book. He made his art better. He fixed things, and now he's got a book that is better quality. I didn't see it before, but looking at it now, it looks like a good book. So yeah, you got to bring it there. Now another thing is you can't get upset if I'm starting to get there with I want to put some I want to help indie creators with my YouTube channel. I really want to. I am going to have to ask for some requirements though, because again, it has to be a book I believe in, and I have to know that you've got skin in the game. So if you come to me and you say you have a mailing list, you've been promoting your book well before the campaign started, I want to help you then. This is something I want to do. What I don't want is you to post a book and then come to me and want me to get it funded for you. And I not saying that I have the power to get your book completely funded anyway, but it's not just going to be me. It's going to be on all these other, Comicsgate platforms. We're here to help, but you have to bring something that's sellable. You have to do that. So yeah, looking at Necron again, this is, it's just the time of year is part of it. Here we go. Crystal McGee's is now funded. That's really great. I hope to see some of these others. I really think that Samurai and Dinosaurs this is quality. I really think I want this book. It's quality. Okay, so my point is that a lot of these numbers, they're not as impressive as some of the other numbers that were put up. A lot of factors. Okay, so I know how it is. I have failed a crowdfunding campaign before. I have. It's stressful. It sucks. I made this crowdfunding campaign called Arcade Fighter. I thought, man, I have a great idea for a card game. It was not really a card game. It was a board game. I had a few problems with it, partially like the pricing strategy, getting things printed. I would have changed the packaging. Actually, that made a big difference. I would have made it just strictly a card game, so it came in a smaller package, and that would have made things better. But that wasn't the only problem with this. I got feedback after the fact. I had feedback before, but it would have been nice to get some nice, honest feedback before I launched this campaign. People didn't like the graphic design, which is unfortunate that I didn't know that ahead of time. The packaging made things too expensive. Let's see, I don't even remember. I'm going to look at some of these things. I had a $1 pledge for nothing. I had the game cost $29, and I don't think it was of value enough, really, for $29. Like, I would rather have made it cost like $15 for the game. I think that would have been better. But I had to work through those things. Anyway, my biggest problem, though, I think really, was the fact that I didn't have enough people interested in the game before I launched the campaign. I had built a mailing list. I had maybe, I think, 60 people on that mailing list. And my strategy for building that mailing list was going directly to game stores and talking to people. Like, I really pounded the pavement. I worked hard. I did little giveaways and gave away games, which ended up being not cost effective. It just lost me money. I chose bad places to advertise, and again, that just cost me money, and I didn't get any return on those places where I advertised it. I will tell you, my artist, I still think was fantastic. She did a great job. All the characters looked really cool. I did the graphic design myself. It was very plain and simple. I kind of wanted it to be like a reminiscent of like a PlayStation game. I made these GIFs myself. I still think I like them, but the thing is, I don't know if other people like them. And that's the thing. You get so involved in your project that you're willing to overlook mistakes, it's just hard to see them. Honestly, that's just how it is. It's hard to see them. Okay, so this had problems. I think if I relaunched this and I got enough people interested in it, and I got the price down for the games, I changed the format a little bit so I could make the boxes smaller, I really feel like this game could get funded. But I did not come to it ahead of time with enough preparation to make it successful. It's not anybody's fault but my own. The other thing is, I didn't have Comicsgate. And obviously this is a game, it's not a comic. So this failure's a little bit embarrassing to me. I mean, not completely. I wished it would have done better. I raised, let me see where I ended up. I raised, a little over $1,000. I needed $5,000, close to $6,000 to get funded. I had some problems. I only had 29 backers, which was not enough. So yeah, there were some problems with it. So my point here is, if you put something out there, you want to get it funded, you learn from failure, that's for sure. Comicsgate is fantastic. It's amazing that it can help. but you have to be contributing. It's the only way that you're going to be successful, especially if you're coming into it without, already having some professional career and a recognizable name. That makes a difference. So I'm not claiming to have all the answers here. I'm still working on my mailing list. I can tell you, thank you everybody, but my mailing list right now is already much, much bigger than the mailing list I had for this arcade fighter game. So I'm feeling better about it. I've got the YouTube channel. And I think most importantly, making connections, talking with people, and getting feedback, and trying to come with just the best possible quality book that I can do. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure there's some things I missed. What is going to make Comicsgate successful in the future? How can we have people be looking at our books and just saying, wow, we're solidly, everything on IndieCron is strong. It's doing the best it possibly can. I'd love to hear. And if you haven't yet, it really would help me out a lot if you join my mailing list. And I also have a Subscribe Star now, so both of those, the links are in the description below. So I'll see you next time.